What up, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the $1.6 billion strategy behind HIMS, the telehealth service and platform for men. And we're going to dive into all of the details that HIMS use to grow their business from just working around men's hair loss and erectile dysfunction to scaling into full telehealth service and a lot of other services and prescriptions and their subscription model and all those things. We're going to dive into the actual framework they use to build things out one by one to really drive growth into their business and then get a $1.6 billion valuation when they had their public offering, right? But before we get into it, I get to tell you who I am because you may be here and you may not know. I'm Quintel Harcum. I founded Good Part and Company. It was a plant-based health cafe located in Baltimore, Maryland. We became the first health and wellness operator and partner at Johns Hopkins. Before us, they never had a smoothie served on their campus. They needed somebody to come help figure that out. I brought my brand, I already had a juice bar, to Johns Hopkins. I gave them the template on how to set up proper health and wellness care service around quick service food items, smoothies, cold pressed juice, acai bowls. Hit them with some curriculum to go along with it. We built content, we built ebooks, and all those things. And since then, I've pivoted to help offer brand strategy to other health and wellness businesses, namely men's health and wellness, because I'm a man. I have strong interest in it. I have a whole lifetime of experience in it, and then now I also have years and years of experience in branding. And so now we're here, and I get to share all of the things that kind of really get me excited around well executed branding. In this case, we're talking about HIMS, and we're going to go over this straight up tutorial training style. So this is basically a free training for anybody who has a men's health and wellness business. You're going to learn some stuff that you can take with you. You're going to want to save this to your favorites, or if you got notes that you're going to take down, then you're going to hit these notes. If you're using ChatGPT to transcribe the transcript, it's going to be available at the end of this joint. So really, it's time to get into it. And I want to give a quick update because YouTube is really chronicling things, and I'm 5 weeks in strong, sticking to the script, right? So my streak right now was at 5 weeks, and we're going to keep this thing rolling. I want to give a quick update. I talked about the meeting I had on how not to lose $10,000 clients, right? Or five-figure clients, rather. And to give a quick update, things are going well. Just executed a new strategy meeting with the team. We had 3 initiatives that we had to work on. So we had a clarity call, like I said in the last video. We had a clarity call. We had to talk about it. We figured out exactly what it is they wanted me to do. And I came through and I was like, all right, this is how we're going to relay this thing out. This is what they want me to do. Let me figure this joint out. So I set up 3 initiatives so I can understand exactly what I need to do. And then I can see where I can delegate and all types of things. So we had the meeting yesterday. Things went really well. The CEO is excited about what we got going on. And we just going to build, man. We just going to keep working. I want to give them the best of everything I got and make sure that their mental health and behavioral business is just shining and really accomplishing the goals that they want. But I wanted to get that update because it's really good to know for me where my business is and what things I'm doing right and wrong, but also to share those experiences because there's somebody who may be watching this that has an agency that's trying to offer services. It could be around brand strategy or anything else, but you want to be able to always check in with your clients, do the right thing, and then make that progress. And sometimes you got to share that progress to remind yourself of the fact that you're doing the right thing. So without further ado, let's get into this training on how HIMS got valued at $1.6 billion when it hit its public offering using what I like to call the build framework. So check it out. This is how to build a men's health brand. This is a training based on a case study around HIMS. I found out about HIMS back in 2017 or so. Yeah, 2017, 2018. As you can see, the kid is bald. So I was actually exploring HIMS, trying to decide if I wanted to, use their products to try to maintain and hold on to the hairline I had or actually grow it. But I never really invested in it. I don't know. I was a little bit nervous. It just didn't feel like something that I wanted to do. And I was already cutting my own hair at the time, whatever. So I kept my eye on the brand because it really spoke to me. A lot of the branding, I pay attention to branding and, the style of it, how things look. And this was before it hit the shelves in some retailers. And I'm online all the time, so maybe they know they hit me by demographic based on my age. I'm kind of around the age of men, so the hair start thinning, whatever. So I found out about HIMS, and I had my eye on it for the last 7 years. And so I feel like I can give a thorough case study. I spent years looking at this brand, even though I never bought anything. Literally years. I'm probably going to count out the hours and tell you that at some point. So this is how you build a men's health brand based on my case study around HIMS. This is how HIMS got a $1.6 billion valuation using what I like to call the BUILD framework, right? BUILD is an acronym for how you go about branding and separating your men's health business in the market that's really, really growing and accelerating. There's all types of things coming out around men's health. Hims does it really well, and don't let this discourage you from building your business. I'm telling you, you got this. And having this framework is going to help you make that happen. So before we get started, though, this framework, like I just said, it works for all of the health businesses. So don't get discouraged. You can apply these same things, but especially for men's health and performance. And I'm going to break out the details that actually help for men's health and performance businesses. And that goes across all types of the business. So it can be a service-based business or a product-based business. Everything from supplements to services to training, gym training, or surgeries, doctors. If you're working on men's health, you can use this BUILD framework because men build. Before we go into that, it's helpful for you to know that in order for you to actually execute on this framework, it's very helpful for you to have a strong brand strategy and a good foundation to actually build on top of. And you can find out how strong your brand strategy is with my Brand Max calculator, and you can get free access to that at the first link in the description. It'll give you a score on where you stand in the market compared to all the other competitors, and it gives you immediate feedback on what you can improve based on some of the values that are included in what it's like to have a really good brand strategy. And then you can come back, revisit this training, and start building. So first link in the description, get the Brand Max calculator, because you don't want to show up like any other brand, any other born doctor, any other white coat trying to tell some guys what to do on how to get their blood flow right and get their heart rate up, and how to deal with their inept performance in the bedroom. You don't want to show up like that. So take the Brand Max calculator and get your score and start working towards building the foundation you need to separate your brand. Now, the BUILD acronym. Let's break it down, and then we're going to talk about how Hims actually uses it. So BUILD stands for the B is brand differentiation. You definitely want your brand to stand out just visibly. People judge a book by its cover when it comes to viewing things online, viewing things in stores. No matter what people say, people judge a book by its cover. So you want to have strong, distinct branding around your business. Unique positioning. So you want to have a clearly defined position, and it may be communicated verbally or through written copy, or it may just be visual where you can clearly understand the difference between this brand and that brand. But a lot of times it comes down to actual words, verbiage, how you communicate. Are you speaking the language of your target audience and things like that? Next is I. That's where you include digital assets, because we live in a digital world now. Everybody's online all the time, either on social media, doing research, using AI, using computers for their job. So you have to have digital assets, and that's where a lot of men's health and wellness businesses come up short, because they do the bare minimum, thinking that it's the most effective, and they wonder why they're not getting as many clients as they want, and they're not having the authority that they actually want in the space. So you got to use digital assets. Next, you're going to take those assets, put them together, share them, and start to leverage authority. That's what the L is for in BUILD. You want to leverage authority because you're sharing your insights, you are sharing your expertise, in your business. In Hims' example, they are sharing their expertise around, one, knowing their audience, but also making the product and prescribing and doing telehealth, right? So they have like real doctors doing their thing, leverage authority. You put all those things together, and the final thing you're going to do is drive growth in your business. So that's what the D is for, to drive growth into your business. And then maybe you too can be $1 billion company, right? So let's talk about how Hims used all of the steps in this BUILD framework. So differentiation, off rip, this is how they got me, modern aesthetics. So I found out, it wasn't an ad on Instagram, but it definitely was something I seen online for sure. So I remember sitting at I had like a cool little 1-bedroom apartment, and I had a kitchen nook, like a little countertop, and I had my laptop there, and I had a desk in the apartment, but sitting up on the chair, kind of on the kitchen nook, doing my thing on the laptop, and I was just diving in, like going in, learning as much as I can about Hims, and I'm like, what is finasteride? What's the key ingredient? What's the difference between this? And Rogaine was like the most popular men's hair thing for hair loss, and like older guys weren't ashamed to say they use Rogaine, but then it was like, does it actually work? Is it like burning your scalp up? All these things, right? So now it's new technology, new information, new science, and Hims was dropping that info, but it was beautiful. It was packaged very well for me, right? Very sleek, minimal design, approachable language. So as you can see here, let's see, I'm not sure that I can move myself, but in this bottom left here, some of that language, a simple way to feel great on your own terms. And that's just what guys want to feel. Like, we just want to feel good on our own terms. We want to have control and autonomy, right? And this leads into a different part of the build framework, but knowing how to speak the language of your target audience. So that's a part of brand differentiation. But if you look at this picture here to the right, one, the Hims logo and the branding is minimal. They write in lowercase letters. This is a attractive serif font, but if you know anything about younger generations, a lot of them type in lowercase all the time. Like, they don't use capital letters. I don't know why. Maybe it's a rebellious way to say I'm not like of the old school. I don't know. But that's a part of their branding. But if you look at the picture, my man has a tattoo on his hand. So that means they're talking to the generation who get tattoos on their hand. So they know who they're talking to, right? And it appeals to younger demographics. They're like, all right, I'm 28, 32, 33. I already see thinning. Like, based on the last few pictures I scroll back on my timeline, I can see my hairline, it's getting a little thin. So they know that that's what they're talking to, and they show that in their modern aesthetics. Another part of differentiating your brand is having unique position, like what I talked about. So they got minimal branding. It feels cleaner and more trustworthy to me. Like, one, okay, Rogaine is effective, but it already got like an old school feel in my mind because it was what older men used when I was young. So they update the packaging, they update the branding, they make it look a little more modern or futuristic. But when Hims pops up with the clean minimal branding, it's positioned as more trustworthy because we don't have to put all this extra stuff on the bottle. And we name it after our audience. It's called Hims. So it's positioned directly for men to easily understand that it's for them. So another thing that they do, like across their website, and we'll show more about that, is they kind of take away some of the insecurities men have around health issues, and they make treatment super accessible and convenient because they offer all telehealth services, and you can get everything online. You don't even need to have insurance to get a subscription to all of their products. Okay, the last part with brand differentiation is transparency. A part of them having minimal branding is that things look clear and easy to understand. That's a big deal with branding, right? So they emphasize their openness about like common men's issues. So they just straight start talking about it. First thing, men's hair loss. I always tell people, anybody that's asking, I'm talking about like men's health and wellness. The 3 things that men are most insecure about: not being able to have enough money to provide for themselves and their family, losing their hair, not being able to perform in the bedroom. Those are the top 3 things. That's what most guys in the back of their mind, they just don't want to show up short on those 3 things. And when it comes to the health parts, right, to their wellness, to losing their hair or performance in the bedroom, Hims talks about it in a way like, yo, it's happening. It's happening to people out there, and we talking about it. We're not even going to act like it ain't happening. Viagra is on the market. Cialis is on the market. We talk about it in a way that you really understand. When it comes to transparency, though, they actually have a whole breakdown and description of this on their website, so you can go visit their website and read it, or you can try to read as much as you want here in this free training. An example of them talking about it, and people talk about it a lot more now, but they kind of like make it look beautiful again with their branding, but they put it on Front Street for weight loss, GLP-1 injections right there on the website. This is what you get. This is the scientific, prescription, semaglutide or whatever. But the rise of GLP-1s was not a thing when they first started. So they only do what they feel is relevant, what pertains to men's health in a certain way. They talk about it in their transparency, the copy about their transparency, and you can see it here. So I felt it was important to add into the training. Where can you be more transparent and current and relevant to your target audience? Are you continuously updating and staying on top of the trends that are relevant to men's health and wellness in your business? Let's dive into the second part of the platforms. Like I said, I came across them on an ad. Then I see him on Instagram, and then I'm just looking at the pictures because the photography looked like, me and my homies. Like I said, my man, I got a small tattoo on my hand, right? But my man got a full tattoo on his hand. He got the waves. My waves used to spin. Like I'm understanding what I'm looking at, but it's not just what I see. It's what they say. It's the voice, right? So you gotta have a voice to match the visuals, and they make all these things less intimidating. Now, what I like here in this copy, like repetition in copy, makes for strong copy, right? So let's go back and play that a little bit more so you can see it. Mental health, personalized to you. Better sex, personalized to you. Hair regrowth, personalized to you. So they have weight loss, personalized to you. Skincare, personalized to you. So they don't have to change a part of the copy, and that makes it much more memorable and grounded. Like, this is a part of their core messaging is that what we offer is personalized to you. And we offer all these things around health personalized to you. So, like that anchor message in there is really consistent with tone. So that's just on the website, and then they use that different parts of their promo and copy. And here is a perfect example because integrated campaigns are part of unique positioning. You can't just have a strong campaign on one part of your online presence because as you bring people into the ecosystem of the things you offer in your business, all the way down to if they got to get on a phone call for you to really break things down, you want to be using the same type of language. You want to reinforce the brand values, like I say here, across advertising, across email, social media, the website, and then your sales reps. So this is a copy of their actual recent email campaign. They use a lot of the same visuals from their timeline. As you can see, well, you might not be able to see it very well, but like the bottle photo is the same as the bottle photo here. Oh, here it is. The weight loss photo here that they use in their highlight section is the same as the weight loss photo here that they put inside of their email template, right? Because design across all things, right, online, this is a really big part of branding and visuals, right? You need to design your emails. So that's one thing. Like if you're a doctor, you may not have time to really figure that out, right? You don't got time to sit down and try to figure this out, or you got your own practice, or you building your own men's business. You have high proficiency elsewhere. You might be a personal trainer. You don't really got time to sit down and design your emails to make it attractive for men to read because you want to think about not just the words you say, but readability. Can I scroll it? Can I skim it and get the info that I want to get? See how they have the find your treatment. The button in the middle is black, so it draws your eyes right to it. That's clickable. You click that, you go and find your treatment, right? So all of these things are integrated into their campaigns to position them as the perfect product or the perfect service for their target audience, for the young guys who are savvy using the internet, right? Going back to core messaging, this is really going to position a wellness brand, a men's health and wellness brand, a very certain way because you want to talk the way that men think. Because some men are strong silent types. So you may not know what type of language they're using, but you got to know what they're thinking. And when you can tap into what they're thinking, you can make them a customer. So they have this core message that they have in their bio on Instagram is the same message they have on their website. They're on a mission to help the world feel great through the power of better health, right? Notice the mission is so big, the world, right? But they start with men. Now they have for hers as well, but I've only followed, hims. Their success standard still going back to being obsessed with the results to get men, healthier across the world. But a cool thing they use in their core messaging is here 1.5 million of you. This is the amount of users they have. This is social proof. This is stats that they want to share and show and flex a little bit. So you got to appreciate that in their core messaging. That's good copy and it shows social proof. Now we're going into the I, where we including digital assets. That's something that I feel like a lot of men's health and wellness businesses overlook drastically. And that's just like, it's not just digital assets like a logo or a brand identity. So you got a responsive logo. So you got the icon, you got the word mark, like those types of things. Your graphic designer breakdown. Maybe you think it's just a website, but you got to have, again, email like what I showed before. It needs to be a good user interface, easy to navigate. You can actually click on the site. So you can see this was my scroll through so you can see. So let's follow my scroll through. So boom, off top, this little thing over here is the menu. So you click, find your treatment. And let me pause it. Going back to core messaging, they use the same call to actions across different platforms. Find your treatment inside the email. Find your treatment on the website. Find your treatment all up and down the website buttons, right? So now let's get back in. You get to see the menu. It's really easy to use. They go from weight loss section to hair to mental health, which is a newer addition, right, to skin. So all those things are available. Then they got all of their primary products that they actually sell here, color-coded for losing weight, GLP-1s, sex chews, the core categories, weight, sex, hair. And then they have all of the buttons activated, minimal font there, same call to actions, right? Get started, find my treatment, get personalized treatment. And then here it is again, speaking to their core audience. These are men who are first responders, and you got to appreciate that they actually looking out for the men in the world who are actually doing the things that, everyday guys do, who may be encountering some of these problems they need help with. and then back to some of the specific products they have for hair hybrids, hard mints, Lexapro for anxiety, and all that good stuff. So it's a very user-friendly website. It is built very well, and it's attractive. And you figure out a way, like appealing to the eye. It's not a lot of visual clutter. So you figure out a way to clean up your website some. Are you using high quality stock imagery? Is the stock imagery representative of the people that you would like to be your clients or your customers? So stay on top of those things, right? That's a part of your digital assets. Educational content. Man, so many brands overlook this, especially service-based businesses. Like they just want to tell people what we do, and sometimes they tell them how it will help, and then they just want to get them into their business so they can book them for an appointment and offer their service. But you really got to educate people. So blogs may seem played out, but when you got ambitious men that's out there grinding and doing their thing, they want to find time for themselves on the internet, and if they're interested in something, they're gonna sit down and they're gonna start searching and finding stuff, and then go down the rabbit hole, and that's when blogs come to life. They're gonna be all on your blog. You got all the info. That's just boosting your authority, getting them more connected to your brand, to your business. And then if you're writing these things well, you give them the educational content. Even if they're not ready to buy, you still feel like the go-to source for what they want. So you take the educational content from the blog, they reading it, and then this is just straight up free game. You take the educational content from the blog and you break that down and put it on social media. It could be in the form of a video. You can do carousels. You can do, strong captions if it's just a text-based platform like Twitter or LinkedIn. You could just type things up and do your thing. Another thing, having these blogs hit for SEO. So SEO is changing now with AI and stuff like that. But today I just did a quick formatting thing in AI, and I asked it to cite the sources. And a lot of times it'll give you a link. Like now, since it's updated, it can give you live links from the internet. It gave me the actual video from YouTube that it's sourced from. So, like, it really plugged the video. I didn't even know it had this capability to embed just yet, but it does now. So that just means that still writing these blogs are important, because if you incorporate a video, that's another way to give educational content. You make educational videos around your product or your service. You put them on YouTube. Them joints going to hit in ChatGPT and AI. So don't underestimate creating educational content. And it doesn't have to be a training or a case study like what I'm going over with you now, right? Very meta, right? I'm telling you to do educational content through educational content. But it's important. And it's going to just make you way more relatable. You understand, like, look, this is how they got the topics broken down by sex, hair health, mental health, weight loss, news, and articles, right? So you can figure out what the pillars are you're going to write about, but it's important to write about it. Another digital asset. I love this joint. I don't have this app. Again, I don't use their product, as you can see. But the app is straight up gorgy. Like, I love it. The interface is clean. I'm pretty sure they paid a pretty penny for whoever it is that built out their website and their app. But as you can see, they got a situation set up like Instagram stories or TikTok stories, right? So you basically these are health professionals talking to you, and it's kind of like daily updates, right? Instead of me going into the app and trying to show it, like I just showed you exactly what's on their website, because they're using that as their home base. Then you can just scan the QR code and it's going to take you to the app, either on your Apple phone or your Android device. But then also, this is where you can track your prescriptions. You can place your orders here, and the app is just beautiful and it's convenient. Like I said, people, their target demographic is younger men who are younger than baby boomers, probably Gen X, millennials, me, Gen X, millennial, right in between, and younger, because everybody's going to get older. This is why the men's health and wellness space is booming. Everybody's going to get older, and being proactive about healthcare is becoming more important, more understandable, and more connected. Younger people want to be healthier longer so they can live a longer, stronger life. Not just about living longer, but not just the amount of years of their life, but the amount of life in those years. And so it's just going to, the industry just going to keep rising. It's going to keep shooting up. People are still going to, this GLP-1 thing, you can say what you want about it. People are going to buy it. Their mentality around weight loss and stuff like that may or may not change. But anyway, my whole point is that the medicines and stuff are always going to be relevant, because people are always going to get older and want to solve their health problems as fast as possible. And having it on the app is way easy to, super convenient. Now, talking about the L. This is the part that when you get to this part, it's money in the bank, like literally money in the bank. Because all you gotta do is drop some info. People can't wait to dive into your content to learn about what you got next, what you offering. Some people just want to spend money. Like, I don't need these products, but I like how the boxes are plain when they send you the box. It's recyclable. The Hims logo is stamped on there. It's not meant to be collected or anything. I collect packaging all the time because I'm into branding and design. But anyway, let's get into leveraging authority. So they leverage, in this case, medical professionals. In your case, you may have a men's health concierge service style clinic, right? You cater to higher end services, maybe around surgery, erectile dysfunction, where you sell some of these products, but you have special services for that. Or you may just be making a multivitamin or a series of multivitamins or some kind of nutrition supplement. Or you may be a personal trainer and you have a high end service where you have a very specific program or whatever, but you're a professional. So you and your team of professionals, y'all talking about your thing and you got it listed on your website. And so Hims does the exact same thing. They have hella doctor credibility. I'll show you more later. But basically, they leverage their network of licensed healthcare professionals to build trust. What you see right here is one of the people who write on their blog. So he wrote an article about dandruff, but it's straight from a doctor. It's not just from any old body. It's from a doctor, most likely a dermatologist who understands how skin behaves and reacts and going to give you the low down nitty gritty of what you need to do to manage your hair health or your skin health rather, right? So they leverage their medical professionals. Hims was actually built with doctors, so they got all of the things. Again, accreditation. So if you do if you can get people results, that's all they really care about. But when it comes to health and wellness and things that are highly regulated in the medical field, don't play no games. Go with the pros. And that's what Hims decided to do. That's a part of that big valuation. They got hella accreditation. This is the part of that medical advisory board, right? So you see they got doctor in urology, making sure, things working down there. Doctors in dermatology, obesity. So mental health, and, sexual wellness, hair loss, all those things, man. So accreditation, leverage your authority. If you are a doctor with a private practice, what are you a doctor in? How long have you been in school? Or how long did you study? Has it been 10 years? If so, make sure that your copywriter or that you write this, you don't just put 10 years, you put over a decade. You make it big. You let them know. That's credibility right there, and that's what you need. Have you written any books? Are you popping up on podcasts? Like that's what the audience or your potential clients need to know. That's where you leverage your authority. That's how you get more and more accreditation. You may not need to keep going back to school to get more and more degrees. Instead, like, have you ever read copy where they say we have over 130 years of combined experience? You got what, 6 people that got 20 years experience or something like that. So think about that. Showcase your certifications. Showcase your affiliations. In my case, my biggest affiliation is being a partner with Johns Hopkins University. That's one of the number one health institutions in the world, and they still need help getting their health and wellness program off the ground. That's a big deal for me. I really appreciate them for giving me that opportunity, and I really appreciate them letting me help build curriculum because I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. So that's just a little bit about using your accreditation. That helped them with implementing the health and wellness thing because they said the person that's coming in to lead this is not just a person with a juice bar. Like they can sell juice, but they know a lot about it and how it's actually going to help. So that's how I use it in my case. This is how Hims is using it to leverage their authority and make more money. The last part of leveraging authority, I mentioned a bit, like popping up on podcasts, being featured in press, right? Third-party press. Are you in other people's articles? Are you being interviewed? Here, the COO talks about how they transitioned from just focusing on hair and sexual health to primary care and mental health. I just recently learned through one of my clients that primary care can be basically imported. It doesn't just have to be like at a doctor. You can get primary care at medical health facilities or any kind of telehealth offering where now, since the pandemic, Hims transition into more telehealth. And now when you even read the description of their website, it says telehealth for the handsome and healthy. So come on now. That's great copy. Shout out to them for that. Another article here from Businessware, which is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, Money in the Bank, how they expanded to nutrition support. So they basically had their own health bars and nutrition bars and meal replacement bars and things like that. So they get impressed on the moves that they making and the way that they shaking, and you gotta love that. So get some press for your business, for your brand. Get some press for your business so you can actually brand yourself and your business. If you're not building a brand, then your business is just a commodity and nobody cares. But getting good press starts to make it a brand and make sure that brand look good. So when people come across your brand at any touch point, it really start clicking. Now, getting to the final letter, the last part of the acronym, D. Okay, D is for driving growth, off top subscription model. Everybody loves it. It's not hard to manage, but when you have a D2C good, a product, a consumable, then subscription base is great because people are always going to have to eat it or use it. So this is just an example from their website. You subscribe as low as $99 a month. So all of their products are subscription based. You subscribe to get a prescription. And recurring billing, that means monthly you got millions coming in their case. That's why they got such a big valuation. But in your business, are there any products or services that you can get people to subscribe to? For all of my men's health trainers, like personal trainers and fitness trainers, your clients subscribing to a package of training sessions, monthly, quarterly, weekly. How is that working out? Do you need to make any adjustments on that because you want to drive more growth? Are you going to offer more value, charge a little bit more, give them a lot more? Some people, this may not work as far as being a trainer because you got to show up to get your service. But for some digital products, instead of having people subscribe monthly, you have them subscribe yearly because people will be far less likely to cancel because they're using the thing over a great amount of time. When they look back, they recollect and think, I got this amount of value in this year versus I had to show up this week or this month to get the thing. I just kept getting it all year. I'm going to just keep it. That drives revenue. That's just a quick free game right there for you. Another part, market expansion. So, like I said, they pivoted from just erectile dysfunction and hair loss into straight up telehealth because the regulations say you can. And guys is online, people can't go into the hospital, people can't get the services they need, but everybody on their phone, you can FaceTime, you can call your doctor, you can give them all of your symptoms, you can tell them all about your lifestyle. And these are high level professionals, so they can assess what's really going on and get you the care you need. So they decide to smarten up and open the market up. Shout out to Jay-Z for that one. They smarten up, they open the market up, and they said, we're going to do telehealth, mental health, primary care. So market expansion. And that's what happens when you do one thing really well. It maps over. You got the right framework and strategies. You can use those and apply those to other parts of business and really blow up. Now, the last part, strategic partnerships. And this is something that you got to love because my business was doing pretty okay. When I opened my first location, it was in the middle of the city. And I'm using me as an example because I actually did this. And it keeps me related and connected to business because it tells me what I'm doing right, how I can get better, and how I can go serve in my next phase of business. But my business was doing okay. And then within 9 months, I get offered to do a strategic partnership with Johns Hopkins. But at the same time, I was being courted by another business in food and beverage. Now, it was another black-owned business, and I would have loved to work with them, but we just couldn't figure out a deal, and we tried twice. But, it's all good. It's still all love. We just couldn't figure out the deal. But the thing is, it could have been more advantageous because they're already in food and beverage. So they could streamline a lot of my processes and kind of like we can get food for lower cost because now we can just double down on what we're buying between my business and the other food and beverage businesses that's under the umbrella, those types of things. So strategic partnerships are a big deal. With Hopkins, I get way more credibility in terms of where I stand in the health space, but also full ownership of the branding. I still got all the creative control and all those types of things. So strategic partnerships are big. They do direct the customer online with Hims, and then they get a strategic partnership with Target. Target got them shelves, baby. People love shopping in Target, men and women alike. So they did what people weren't doing before, not brands of their nature, and they took it to the shelves, right? They took it offline and took it to the shelves to make it more accessible. There's still people who don't order online and for whatever reason, life can just be different for different people. So it's not as easily accessible. So they took it to Target, where people can actually get to Target, right? It's more Target locations. And as you can see in this photo here, what I love most, and of course they're going to do this because they're a big brand with a strong branding foundation, consistent visuals. They got the things color coded here, but you see the same fonts, the same minimal branding that let you know we own this space on the shelves. And going back to the photo, there was a photo before where I showed the difference between Hims and Rogaine. Looks totally different. It actually stands out on the shelf because it has less. This is where doing less gets you more, right? Or you do more with less. So they collaborate with Target. Now they in Targets. It increases their visibility, right? Because some people just may not get hit with the ads or whatever, right? They may not know that this is an option. They still feel like managing hair loss or getting educated on erectile dysfunction or getting some kind of treatment for that is something you still got to go to your doctor to. But if you go to Target and you're walking through Target and you pick up the Hims, like this is really just the hair care stuff. They have tablets and like chewables and gummies and stuff like that. So you see some of these things and then you start to learn about the brand. Oh, this brand look cool. Oh, they got a little something for hair care. What else they got? You go to their website. You scan something on the thing. You go to the website, or you just start to learn about it. And then like, oh, they do all of these things. So you got to get those partnerships because it allow you to expand your brand and show up in different places and acquire new customers and bring them into your world. So that is the build framework that Hims used to get a $1.6 billion valuation. We talking about a B, not with an M. 1.6. Once they got their public offering, being traded on the stock market. This framework I came up with as a part of my Brand Max Blueprint. It's what I do when I work with my clients to help them maximize their brand. So if you want to maximize your brand and use this framework like this, you can start by getting your Brand Max strategy score. Click the link in the description. Take the Brand Max calculator. Only take about 3 minutes, 20 or so questions. Don't take much time. It's going to hit you back with immediate results on what your scores are across very clear elements of branding and then how you can go about making those improvements. All right. And then you can just get started, keep things rolling. If you like the video, you like the tutorial style, you like the case study, are you going to go try some Hims? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video and you want more case studies, like, share, subscribe, let me know, and I'll catch you in the next video.